I'm here at the Jessica McCaskill Lauren Price press conference here in the Cardiff City Stadium. How are you both doing? How are you finding the press conference?
I'm great. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good too. The press conference was great. It's good to see everybody out here. Everything so perfectly professional, and it's just a great place to be.
And I must say, I've been really impressed this whole fight with how respectful you've been of not only Wales but your opponent as well. It must be difficult to, when you're going in there to, tear the head off of someone, to be respectful about them. How have you found that? Is that an active choice, or is it just how you are?
I think it's more so when I finally met Lauren. I didn't have any qualms about her. I think she's a great athlete. She's a multi-sport athlete. She's always in the gym. There's people that I'm not really fond of, and they do things like they blow up in weight after the fights. I'm more concerned about all of us being good examples for the other fighters and for people coming up in the ranks and things like that. And so I just think she's a really good role model, and she knows it's business. I know it's business, and we're both gonna put on the horns, when the fight comes and tear each other up.
What about you, Rick? You ever tempted to flip some tables, say anything controversial?
No, I think boxer is like, hey, Rick, get crazy, get wild. I think everybody thinks that, but I think everyone's got to see it from my perspective, right? Like we fought Katie Taylor. Obviously, we're here for Lauren Price. Like we don't have gold medals. We didn't come from the promotional side necessarily with big money. So we had to do what we had to do to get here. But now that we're here, we're just enjoying the moment, enjoying the atmosphere, and we plan to shock the world again on Saturday.
And does that play into your favour? You can teach someone how to throw a punch, you can teach someone how to avoid a punch, but you can't teach someone that fight, that heart, that grit. That's something that comes from within you. Do you think that Jessica's got that and can use that to her advantage?
Yeah, I think we both carry the fact that, like, boxer, Lauren Price, the people of Welsh, like, they don't know if we're going to light this place on fire. They don't know if we're going to throw tables, and just showing up, everybody's nervous, you know what I mean? And that might happen, who knows? But at the end of the day, I fight. Jessica's now my wife, so I obviously will defend my wife, and we're not afraid to flip a table or throw some punches in or out of the ring, so it is what it is.
And we spoke to you yesterday, Jessica. You said you made weight on Sunday. You're feeling good. You've been enjoying the food. Talk to us a little bit about some of the food you've been enjoying, because it looked good from the outside perspective.
Yeah, I mean, the times I have been over from the States, I haven't found the best food being in East London or being in Leeds, but surprisingly, Wales has some good food. I had some great food at the Fat Rhino. The Fat Rhino had a great burger last night, and I just shoved it in my face. It was amazing. So, and then the hotel has great breakfast. So, I'm on weight, so I can eat whatever I want.
You said about Leeds food. Have you? All right, hear me out here. Fish and chips. You've had fish and chips, presumably.
Yes.
Well, what you get in Leeds is chips and scraps. So it's the batter that's come off the fish, on top of the chips, bit of curry sauce. How does that sound to you?
Yeah, I don't think we had that.
I've had, in Chicago, I've had chips and curry because I've had some friends that try to get me hip to it. So I would be down for that.
For sure, definitely. We didn't have that in Leeds, but Leeds is a good town too. This place is, anything over here is amazing, and it's a good time. So we're happy to be here.
Yeah.
And I'll ask you, what from Chicago, what food should we be eating from over there? What's your favourite thing from your hometown?
We go Italian beef, the hot dogs, obviously the pizza, not deep dish, but
like Beggar's Pizza is good. What else is Chicago?
You can go to Pilsen and get tacos.
Oh, you got to get some Mexican food. Oh my goodness, you're killing me.
And obviously, we are a boxing podcast. We probably should talk boxing. Yeah. Maybe we need to set up a food podcast so we can talk about that. But I've listened to a lot of your Instagram lives in the evenings because I've got nothing better to do with my time, and I find them very enjoyable. You've had a certain something to say about Eddie Hearn. You believe he's had so much money thrown at him and only been able to get one world champion. You've had no money thrown at you and obviously have a world champion next to you there. Is that something where you feel great about yourself rather than bad on Eddie, or is there a little bit of beef there? No,
you know what? Like Eddie is a spoiled kid. He grew up with a lot of money. God bless him. I didn't. Obviously we didn't. I think if you gave me $1 billion, I think I would have a world champion in 6 months. But that's just me. That's we do different kinds of business. So, I have nothing towards Eddie. I think that the number one thing in boxing is, you might have somebody like who's a promoter. And I think some of the people who are on your team, they don't know boxing, especially the lawyers, especially like you put people in a position, and you want those people to do what you want. So you hire yes men. So I think Eddie's a great guy. He's a little funny sometimes, but I would do things different. But that's why Boxer, or that's why Matchroom, or somebody with a lot of money should hire somebody like us, like me, and let me find the talent, like let me work with them, and I'd fire half their staff immediately.
And you say you do things a little bit differently, and obviously at your gym you do things differently. Talk to us a little about that. We spoke to Jess about how you don't necessarily have a fight camp and you're in 365 days a year. Can you tell us that from your perspective, from the top?
Yeah, like I'm a builder, with all these fights going to Saudi, I don't know what they're trying to build. They're probably trying to build their country. I'm a builder. I'm trying to build for the sport. They're trying to build for the country. I think we have different mindsets. I think the sport needs more leaders and more people. Like I think the champions should be in the local boxing gyms and trying to spread awareness. Not only just how to fight, not only about the opportunities, but how to eat, how to drink. Like a lot of these people are popping hot in the drug test, and and their coaches come from an era of not educated people. So a lot of the coaches, you could have the best guy to show you how to throw 1, 2, 3. But if he doesn't know how to read a contract, he got to go too. There's a lot of dumb people in boxing, and there's a lot of dumb people running promotional companies. So, you got to hire people who's been around. I've been around, seen around. I used to trade for banks, the biggest banks in the world. I can handle a boxing gym. I could definitely handle a bunch of boxers. So, and lawyers, they don't know the game as well as I do. So I think, you should see some changes. And I think as far as Saudi and everybody going over there, sure, they're spending money, but are they helping the sport? I don't know. I would say in the long run, no. But in the short term, sure. But again, I'm here for the sport. I'm not here for my own pockets. I'm not here to build another country. I'm here to build my fighters. I would love to go back home and create the biggest fights in Chicago. Chicago's an underrated town, and I'd love to bring boxing back.
And you mentioned quickly there, the last question from me before we get on to just talking about the fight. Ryan Garcia, obviously very famously recently, has had some issues with testing positive. From your point of view, do you think there's a chance that there's something foul at play, or is it a possibility that it's an accidental issue? I know that it comes up sometimes in fat strippers and things like this. What's your thought on that?
I have to be careful because, this is going to turn into clickbait. But I will say that there's a lot of shady people in boxing. I will say that there's a lot of people for sale in boxing. So you gotta know who you're working with. You have to know who's involved. You gotta get lawyers involved. You gotta get managers to watch your managers. You gotta get lawyers to watch your lawyers. This is a weird sport. I think we should create a league. And if Saudi, Turkey, the guy from Saudi, I don't know his name. If he wants to do real business, I think we should get Dana White in a room. And I think I would love to be in the room too and create a league where there's real guidelines and there's real consequences. I mean, I would love to make $50 million and get a $100,000 fine. I would do that every day of the week. That doesn't even mathematically make sense. We need real repercussions. We need real regulations. We need real people, real business people, not just money. Money doesn't mean anything. Money can make things happen, but you need to build something. You need to create something, and I'm all for it. I tried to sit down with some of the biggest names and the biggest money people, and I can't get it over the line. So I think if we could create a league with female side first, I think the men will fall in line. But that's just me. I've been pushing for the league for boxing for a long time, probably 3-4 years now. I've been unsuccessful, but I'm going to keep talking about it, and hopefully somebody hits me up from Saudi with big money and wants to do something big.
And then on to this fight, back to Cardiff, back to the Utilita, Saturday night. Rick, what's the last thing you're going to say to Jess before she steps out into the ring that's going to put her in place to beat Lauren, who's stood just over from you there?
Make her uncomfortable. Make her uncomfortable at all costs, every minute of every round. Make her uncomfortable.
And from yourself, what's going to be playing through in your head when you stood in the corner? The ref's just had his word with you. Lauren stood in front of you. What's the last thing that goes in your head before you get in there?
Take the belt home.
Simple as that?
Yep, that's it.
Perfect, that's brilliant. Thank you. All the best for the weekend, and all the best.